For over 60 years, one name has stood for American full-size style: Impala. 10 generations, 3 separate comebacks, and one of the best-selling cars in Chevrolet's history. Here's how it evolved, decade by decade. The Impala began in 1958 as the top trim level of the Chevrolet Bel Air, built to mark Chevrolet's 50th anniversary. It stood out with a wider body, a lower roofline, and triple taillights on each side. Chevrolet sold well over 100,000 units in its very first year alone. By 1959, the Impala broke off into its own model line. It rode on a new X-frame chassis and introduced the Batwing rear end, with wide, flat tail fins and teardrop-shaped brake lights. It became Chevrolet's best-selling model in 1960, with over 400,000 units sold. The next generation traded flash for cleaner, more restrained lines. This is the era that introduced the Super Sport package and the legendary 409 cubic inch V8, a combination that helped push the Impala straight into the early muscle car scene. 1965 brought a full redesign, and it became the best-selling American car of the decade. Over 1 million Impalas sold in that single year, a record no single nameplate has matched since. Quad headlights and softer, more flowing curves defined the look for the rest of the decade. The early 70s Impalas were the largest ever built, full-size in every sense, built for comfort on long American highways. But by the mid-70s, the oil crisis was already reshaping what buyers wanted from a big car. In response to the fuel crisis, Chevrolet downsized the Impala dramatically for 1977, lighter, boxier, and far more efficient than its predecessor. It sold steadily through the early 80s, until the nameplate was quietly retired in 1985 in favor of the Caprice. The name came back in 1994, this time as the Impala SS, a rear-wheel drive performance sedan built on the Caprice platform, usually finished in black. It lasted only 3 years, ending when the Caprice platform itself was discontinued, but it's still remembered as a genuine sleeper performance car. The Impala returned again in 2000, now as a front-wheel drive family sedan. It became a familiar sight in rental fleets and police departments across the country, prioritizing space and value over the flash of earlier generations. An update in 2006 kept the same front-wheel drive formula, and the Impala quietly became one of the best-selling sedans in America for years running, driven largely by fleet and rental sales rather than showroom glamour. The 10th and final generation arrived in 2014, and it was, by most reviews, the best Impala in decades, a genuine full-size sedan again, with modern styling and real comfort. It wasn't enough to survive the industry's shift toward SUVs and trucks, and production ended in 2020. 10 generations, over 6 decades, and 3 separate comebacks. Few nameplates in American automotive history have reinvented themselves this many times and survived this long doing it.